We're Parsley. I'm Andrew Montalenti, the co-founder and technology lead. This is my business partner, Sachin, co-founder and business lead. Parsley is a rich web-based application that understands your unique interests to filter and prioritize content from thousands of news and blog sources across the internet. So I have a question for everyone in this audience. How many of you are just simply overwhelmed by the amount of information that's out there on the internet? Almost everyone's hand goes up. So getting information off the internet is like taking a drink from a fire hydrant. This quote aptly summarizes the frustration that everyone feels when they try to get information off the web. Let's break down just how bad this problem is. There are over 30,000 mainstream news articles published every single day, and over 900,000 blog posts. Just look at these numbers. With numbers like these, is it any surprise that you're overwhelmed by the amount of information out there? At Parsley, we ask the question, what about your interests? What if your interests could determine the content you receive, so you only receive the most relevant information first and don't waste time on the noise? And that's why at Parsley, we believe that 2010 is going to be when your interests define your web. And that's why we built Parsley. Now, I know what you guys are thinking right now. You're probably saying, isn't this a crowded space? Aren't there a lot of players here? And you'd be right to think that, but it's a crowded space because it's a big problem, and no one has solved it adequately yet. We believe that Parsley has a unique take on this problem, both from a product and business side. I'm going to demonstrate some of the product side, where we apply modern algorithms to save our users time and money immediately upon using Parsley. And I'm going to then introduce Sachin, who's going to take you through the business side, where we believe that we can monetize this product by going after a neglected market. So let's jump into the solution. When we started the summer at DreamIt, we identified 3 key areas that potential customers and users told us they'd like to see in a tool that solves this information overload problem. These are interests, relevance, and intelligence. I'm now going to jump into screenshots of our working application for each of these. So let's start with interests. Parsley starts with what's called the interest setup wizard. This is a simple user interface where you can simply type in the things that matter to you into a box and then drag and drop those interests into weighted categories that tell you how important that interest is to you. This is pretty unique among this category of tools. And here what I'm showing is an example of Steve Welsh, who's running for Congress. Steve, are you here? Yeah. So there you are. Yeah. So Steve Welsh, his campaign worked with us a little bit to try out our product, and these are some of the interests that he could potentially be tracking, like Delaware County, Congress, Pennsylvania, DreamIt Ventures, his own name, primary elections, and he can drag and drop these interests into various categories in order to tell Parsley which ones are more important to him. So the most important ones are on the left, least important on the right. Parsley then uses this information in order to build up relevant scores for all items that are published on the internet in order to show you only the most relevant items first. This is Parsley's rich web-based application. You go to this application and it gives you a very productive UI for reading all of your news content in one place. What I want to draw your attention to is the score column on the left. That column is where interests that are matched against pieces of content are being summarized so that only the most important pieces of content show up at the top, and you can quickly find those and then either skim the rest that's just noise or just focus on those important articles. So in this case, this article matched at the top because it mentioned Arlen Specter, primary elections, Pennsylvania, and Delaware County, and each of these had different rankings based upon the interest setup wizard earlier. This saves our users valuable time when browsing content on the web. Finally, Parsley isn't just a smart UI, it's also an intelligent application with a very strong framework behind it. This is a Parsley score explanation window where every single article that's inside the Parsley UI is broken down by why it is that article showed up there. But we don't just track the interests themselves, we also track user behavior to see how you're reading those articles. How are you marking them? Are you deleting articles that aren't relevant to you? And then we incorporate that into scores in order to continually learn your interests and further filter information over time. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Sachin.
So thanks so much, Andrew. That was a great demo. I have to say, though, that one thing that this PowerPoint presentation does not show you is how slick the UI really is. If you guys check out our URL parse.ly, you can see a video that describes that. We're actually going to have a live demo afterwards too, so you can really see how well Andrew and our other developer DDA, how hard they worked on it to build something so great. So Andrew talked about why this and why now from a problem and solution standpoint. What I want to talk about is why this and why now from a market perspective and from a business opportunity perspective. I'm going to dig right into the competitive landscape because I know a lot of people are thinking about that. So if you look in the bottom left right here, you see some of the free tools that are available that some users are using to manage this information overload problem. At the top, you see some of the other tools that are available that are more expensive in the hundreds to thousands of dollars per month range. We've talked to a core group of customers that have felt neglected by the free tools that are on the bottom left. They're just not cutting it for them. That some of them even say that they contribute to the amount of information overload that they have to manage. They also say that the tools in the top right are just too expensive. They don't add enough value for them to pay the ridiculous amounts of money they have to give them every month. These core group of customers are small businesses and small to mid-sized PR firms. We found that these businesses are really frustrated with the tools in the bottom left and need some better features from the top right. And that's where Parse.ly comes in. Parse.ly can acquire users that are frustrated, and we can also offer premium features that match and innovate on top of the tools in the upper right. So how did we get here? How did we understand that this was the case? Well, this really came from market feedback. DreamIt has always talked about going straight to the market, straight to the customer to ask them what problems are out there and what solutions they need. So we talked with over 30 companies, in-depth, in-person interviews, asking them one simple question, which was, does the current Parse.ly user interface save you time? And the answer was a resounding yes. But that was only part of it, actually. The second part was, how can we build premium features on top of the already built-in UI that can save you even more time and money? And so we asked them, what features would you like to see, and how much would you pay for those features? And so we broke that down into 6 categories, going in depth with each category to explain to them what we could build on top of Parse.ly. And we got a response that where they ranked how important these categories were to them and also what they would pay for it. Here you can see that analytics is the overwhelming requested feature, and they actually said on average that they paid $75 a month for that feature. Some of these other prices, some of these other numbers are the prices that they would pay for these other features. And the analytics package is really in there and priced so high, or priced so high for demand, because they really need a competing tool to compete with the enterprise features that are out there that they just can't grab. This feedback leads us directly to our pricing model here. We're going to give our users a free tool that's better than any other free tool out there. We're going to offer a bronze package that's going to increase productivity and collaboration within a small business. And we're going to have an analytics package on top of that in the gold form that's really going to push it forward to give those users the enterprise tools that they want. Also, we've been talking to corporate customers who want a package to distribute amongst all their users inside their corporation, and we're currently developing a pricing scheme around that that would include access to our API. So what value does Parse.ly provide to our users? Where Alexis Thomas, the Director of Public Relations at SmileTrain, really put it best. She said, with Parse.ly, I know that I'm reading the right things at the right time. And that's really what we want to show our users from the get-go. And it was great working with her to develop Parse.ly to what it is today. So let's go through a quick recap. Andrew talked about the information overload, and you all raised your hands, identifying this as a major problem that needs to be solved. At Parse.ly, we believe that your interests should define your web, and we're going to give you control over that web. Ultimately, what we want to do is we want to save our users time and money. So that's Parse.ly. You can go to http://parse.ly to sign up. What we're really asking everyone here to do is, we know that there are some investors in the audience, and we know that you guys have portfolios to manage. You know that you guys are looking for new opportunities to invest in. We know that you guys have a lot of interests. So we would really appreciate your feedback and mind share with our UI to see if it can add you value. In fact, this is today is the day that we're launching this product into private beta. You can go to the URL to sign up, and you can enter the invitation code DreamIt Ventures, and that'll get you a provisioned account ahead of anybody else that's signed up. So
It only takes 2 minutes, or like 1 minute to sign up,
Yeah,
and
it's
you'll
really
enter in
quick.
all your interests.
So thank you very much.